And what the heck was that? Welcome back to the Constitutionalist Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is premier podcast for the website, c+comedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. We're back. 272 of the show you forgot that you subscribed to. I think that's a tagline to this. Excuse me, it's not a tagline. It's the one I made up. So it's a tagline. I'm trying to find the clock on my phone so I can start the stupid stopwatch. Oops, oh God. Oh, we're all over the place here. Trying something different. I loaded every single page that I needed to open. It's not that many. So hopefully, it's, oh no, the frog is here. Michigan J. Frog is here. 272. Remember Michigan J. Frog is from the WB. And he would, from Warner Brothers cartoons, but he became the mascot. And he's a frog that a down on his luck guy found. And he would only sing when the guy was by himself, alone and singing. And he would sing standards of the era, like, "Hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime gal." I used to watch a lot of Cartoon Network when I was a child. Used to, still do. Let me look up Michigan J. Frog. It's great that I figured out the buzzing issue that was coming from the iPad hooked up via USB-C to 3.5 millimeter jack that is connected to the Zoom H6. It wasn't that much to figure out. So Michigan J. Frog came from the WB movie Merry Melodies. He's a frog. He's got a top hat. He looks like a regular frog when he's in regular frog mode, but then he stands up and sings. He's created by Chuck Jones, the prolific cartoon creator. So he sings "Hello, My Baby," the Michigan Rag. I'm just wild about Harry. Come back to Arian. Throw him down, McCloskey. And that's the type of song. Those are, I'm not going to name every single song because there's a lot. Now he's currently voiced by Jeff Bergman and Jeff Bennett. And Jeff McCarthy. There's a lot of Jeffs just voicing this guy. Anyway. Welcome back. We're in it. You might hear a little bit of clipping. 2 minutes into this episode. And we have yet to hit the through line. So what have I been doing all week? I've been trying to knock out multiple episodes of News Time. I still have one to go, technically this week's episode, which should have come out before this, but it's a lot. And so I got to find out something for that. And then 2 podcasts. And then an interview I had with a comedian that'll be out in October. I'll talk about that next week. But it's a good little interview. It caused me to watch a show. I had to watch a show that I'd never seen before. I'd heard of. I did not know the premise of. I only heard the title of. And you know what? I quite enjoyed it. Let's just put it that way. But it's not a show that a lot of people are talking about because it's just a broadcast sitcom. And I think the pilot did its job. Truthfully, and that's all I could ask it to do. Hey, let's get on with this first story. This comes from Variety, written by Matt Donnelly. David Kushner, journalist behind A24 Zola, to publish next book on Substack. Exclusive. Zola is a film that has recently come out. It's one of those art pieces, as told by the A24 moniker. What is that noise? Is that a motorcycle? Yeah, that's a motorcycle. The loudest motorcycle in the world. In the history of the planet. So I talked about Substack, I believe, in the episode before last, is reaching out into Hollywood, doing graphic novels now, and they are picking people from both Marvel and DC's imprints to own their own IP and to make comics solely for the Substack platform. Now, whether that be subscription, whether that's even going to be a hard copy at some point, that remains to be seen. But now Substack, upon getting into the other, they were just newsletters where well, I guess I should get a rundown. If listened to 2 episodes ago, but the gist of it is that Substack is a newsletter platform for writers to sell their own subscriptions. Substack takes a very, very low amount, a very low cut, and you can sell subscriptions to your Substack or your newsletter, and you can make bank. A lot of people are making a ton of money on Substack, and they're just writing, daily, weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly newsletters. It's proven to be fruitful, and people are leaving their big publications like the New York Times, Chicago, Sun Place. I had it right in my head. I'm not gonna correct myself. Casey Newton left The Verge. I want to keep saying Casey Newton because he's the only one I knew when he went over to Substack. So it works. Substack works. It is doing as well as podcasts are doing for Patreon, and as well as, or doing over at Patreon rather, and then as well as porn is doing for OnlyFans. You think Substack will get into porn? It's all lit erotica. Somebody was telling me this week that they read lit erotica. Not had read, they currently do read lit erotica. And I just kind of glazed over it because I didn't care. That sounds mean. I was just like, all right, great. So it'd be interesting if Substack, but for lit erotica. I mean, I'm sure it's already on there on Substack. They already have alt-right content on there. So it's true. And I think Patreon does as well. And I would not doubt it if OnlyFans had some. Anyway, but they're not just for porn. As evidenced by the episode of News Time I did about OnlyFans. That was, I think, 2 or 3 episodes back. And I think I covered all the numbers there. So, oh, God, I have to answer a text message. A very pertinent text message. Hold on. Okay. It's coming. I'm almost done. All right. Okay. So now we have Substack is jumping into comic books, which is very lucrative. And now that the writers and artists of comic books can own their own IP, now we're moving into it very quickly, I might add. Like, this is something that I think came out of nowhere. So let's say A24's this guy Zola writer guy. Sorry, I'm just being thrown back by the mass amount of text messages I'm getting. He's going to be one of the first to publish a book. Oh God, I have to answer another text message. Okay. Okay. So, let's see. He's going to be the first one to publish a book. He's going to launch a subscription newsletter called Disruptor, and it's going to feature regular original reporting. Okay. So, Kushner's magazine articles have inspired films like A24 Zola and upcoming projects involving Christian Bale and Spike Lee. Substack, a subscription newsletter service, will now be home to his new work. Masters of Disruption, How the Gamer Generation Built the Future, which will see a serialized release and feature multimedia components. This book is a sequel of sorts to the 2003 bestseller, Masters of Dune from Random House. So it's just going to be a book. It's just going to be a book release on there. I don't know how it's going to work. I've never used the Substack platform in order to read a book, but it looks like Kushner told Variety that he views his upcoming manuscript as a, quote, post-book product, not only referring to its serialized nature, but also suggesting an evolution of the all-text experience. Okay. Don't know how it'll work. And I don't know if it's going to be something that you can just like swipe through or you have to read through like this, because they didn't give any hint whatsoever. But I think that this is a pretty neat way to step into more written spaces. Where else could they go? Where else is Substack amazing? So now they have newsletters. They have which newsletters can be treated as articles and stuff. And then they have books and comics. So I guess once they get into the audio, so I think audio would come before video, and so all they have to do is just create some type of simple dedicated audio player and have enough server. They obviously have enough server space for text stuff, which only take kilobytes per, if that per post. So it would be. I would be interested in seeing them step into the audio space if people want to do some type of daily or weekly radio show in a podcast format, really, and maybe implement some type of way to upload that and have their own RSS feeds and things of that nature. And maybe that's already been figured out. Maybe somebody already has a way for them to just maybe you can embed your own audio into what you do. Let me see. Substack. I'm searching this on the iPad so the computer doesn't slow down. Substack audio. Substack audio is Googled. They have subscription podcasting through Substack. Okay, all right, they already have that. So then why isn't it more prominent? Oh yeah, they definitely do have an audio thing. They've moved into paid podcasts with the launch of the tool for audio publishing. The first Substack publisher of the tool is Anthony Pomplano, who is launching a daily podcast for Off the Chain that will be available to paying subscribers. Wow. And so let me click on this Off the Chain thing. It's probably some alt-right content. But there's already this guy from it's business and finance and tech industries. This guy has 185,000 subscribers. And you can join by signing up below. I don't want to do that. But I can only assume it works. But maybe it just needs to be in a more prominent place for them to bring it out and let it be useful for everybody. So that means, I guess, if they already have audio, then some type of video thing. But again, you could just upload to YouTube and then just embed it over. But now that I know they have their own audio thing, that's a very enticing offer for somebody who wants to run their own business style stuff over there. Not me, I have no interest. This next one comes from Deadline, written by Dade Hayes. Paramount Plus and Showtime bundled in single service at teaser prices starting at $10 a month. So we knew this was going to be coming. So ViacomCBS, they switched over CBS All Access to Paramount Plus earlier this year. And Showtime has been, so both CBS All Access, which is now Paramount Plus, and Showtime have been very lucrative for ViacomCBS. They're not doing, obviously, Netflix or Disney Plus numbers, but they have, CBS All Access was the first one. It was before HBO Now. It was before Peacock and Disney Plus and all of them. And where people were like, you got to pay to watch CBS? The Viacom was like, or CBS before Viacom CBS. CBS was like, no, don't worry, this is going to be great. Then they merge, and Viacom CBS says they're going to take it to a higher level. And you know what? People have been signing up left and right. They've had a consistently growing set of numbers. And Showtime has done extremely well. I guess people want to watch Billions. I don't know what else is on Showtime, but Desus and Mero and Billions. Oh, and Vice. I haven't seen Vice since this move over. I haven't seen Vice in years. When it was on HBO, I was really interested, and then it moved to Showtime. Well, first HBO canceled it, and then it moved to Showtime, and I just have no drive to go watch it. But I'm glad it's around because there needs to be some type of independent news source other than PBS. It's like PBS but for hipsters. So the starting price right now is going to be $10 a month, and that's locked in forever. So this happens October 20th is when this ends. So right now you can sign up for Showtime and Paramount Plus bundle forever as long as you stay subscribed for $10 a month. Now, the $10 gets you Showtime, but then also gets you ad-supported Paramount Plus. or you can pay $13 for the ad-free option. Now, listen to this. This is a good deal no matter what, no matter which one you choose. Paramount Plus is $5 for ads and $10 for no ads, and Showtime is $11. So I most should be paying $22. So if you get in now with this $13 ad-free option, well, it sounds like I'm on QVC. I'd be the worst QVC salesman. I've seen the movie Joy, and I have no interest in watching it again. The bundle has been offered since 2020. What? As a $10 a month add-on option through Apple TV Plus, excuse me. Today's promotion marks the arrival of its direct to consumer offering. I just deleted like 7 words in the middle of that sentence. There's going to be with this, there's also the joint venture that was mentioned last month with Comcast for Sky Showtime in Europe, which also includes the very specialized services such as Noggin and BET Plus. But there's no other bundle except for Paramount in America for Paramount Plus, except for Paramount Plus and Showtime. This is just like the Disney bundle, and eventually everything is going to be bundled together, and I don't like it at all. But it is a good deal for $10 or $13. Now, continue off that. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter, written by George Zalai and Alex Weprin. Despite risks, ViacomCBS's streaming push is convincing Wall Street so far. The all-in Paramount Plus effort is an uphill climb, but some financial insiders are becoming less skeptical of the media giant as a buyer rather than acquisition target. So what that sublead was getting to is Netflix, and I've harped on this before. Netflix just constantly buys other people's shows, and not the ones that it puts the Netflix originals on. It buys for Netflix originals. I'm talking about acquires, like Seinfeld. It's acquiring the streaming rights for Seinfeld. But ViacomCBS would rather have less things on its streaming service, on its main streaming service, in order to have a cheaper and better and more sustainable product. The company plans to double its streaming content spend to bulk up streamer Paramount Plus. As I just say, it doesn't want to buy all that stuff. It currently spends $15 billion annually, split between linear and digital, and is hunting for partnerships. So partnerships is the word. That's what it needs to get after. Wells Fargo analyst Stephen Cahall raised his stock rating on ViacomCBS to overweight in mid-August, saying, quote, "Streaming efforts are bearing fruit and have impressed us, so we move from historical bears to constructive bulls," which means that they're ready on it. They're bullish. That's a real term from stocks. Cahall even decided to use a Hulu-esque valuation because of parallels in strategy for the company's streaming business. Historically, we have been bears and saw streaming as a show-me story. They've shown us by the end of 2022. He forecasts 70 million subscription VOD subscribers and 147 million subscription VOD and advertising VOD subscribers, with around $8 billion in streaming revenue, which is really good. You can hear those numbers. Those are fantastic numbers. So Wall Street's excited because they see the consistency that is coming in with Paramount Plus, and in many cases Showtime. Because Showtime's always been going head to head with HBO. It's always been the other one. And even though it does have good original shows that may make you go, why am I watching this on Showtime? It's good that it can be. I don't know what am I talking about? It's good that it can be something that can compete. That people seem to want that product, especially when there is a Netflix, when there is a Disney Plus, when HBO has released Warner has released a bloated, broken mess such as HBO Max. And like I said, HBO Max is probably my favorite, right up there with Hulu. If Hulu just moves my stuff if you have the TV app of Hulu, Go to the TV app. On the consoles, on a streaming device, just go to the TV app. They moved all of your stuff to the end of the line. So it gets like home, TV, movies, sports. It's just like, oh my gosh. So, but on the phone app and on the iPad app and phone and iPad, I believe, you can access my stuff at the right there on the bottom. On any page, you can access it. It's insane. I hate that. And I know they want you to discover more things. And Netflix does this too. And Paramount Plus does it. Everybody, but hold on. Who else does it? This pisses me off. They're all hiding your list. That's the problem. They're all hiding your stuff in your list. And so now I'm going to look at every single one of these friggin' apps to see who does it. All right, see, look at this. Look at this. Look at this on Netflix. I can't even... Where's my list? Where's my list? There's continue watching. There's trending now. And then my list is the third thing down. I'm not going to put it on focus because I don't want you to see what's on my list. Let's see. Hulu. Hulu's loading up. There's a little splash screen. So my stuff is down here, and it still works. Don't want you to see the things I watch. Jimmy Kimmel Live and Holy Moly? What is this guy into? Let's do Prime Video. We're gonna do this every single one. Oh, there's a Savage Cross Fenty show. I've never seen one, and I never planned on it. Okay, so you can access my stuff, but you still have to scroll over. You can access my stuff on here, but you still have to scroll over to watch list. Ugh. Yes, I'm rewatching Mad Men again. All right, there's Max. This is good, right? I gotta fill up 30 minutes somehow. It takes continue watching is right there watching Succession again, obviously, before it starts up again. So my list is the third thing down. I don't care what's for me. I don't need that. Let's go to Showtime anytime. Even that's a cable product, it does not matter. All right, so you have to hit the 3 buttons up top to get to my list. Not much on there. I'm sorry, Showtime. Contact, the movie, has been on, I think, like 7 different streaming services, and I refuse to watch it. But it's on my list every single time. All right, I'm not logged into Stars, but if I was, it would still take a long time to get there. Yeah, let's go to Paramount Plus. I just watched 2 episodes of Big Brother. And by watched, it means I skipped through it. I didn't watch it for real. Okay. Paramount Plus, load it up, scroll down, keep watching is right there. And then my list is second. All right, Paramount Plus did a good job. Peacock. This is the last one I have, I promise. I don't have Discovery Plus. So you still have to... the first thing brought up, continue watching, and then watch list. So there you go. I mean, it's how hard is it to put the watch list immediately? I just did I'm gonna come to the thing. I will come to the app, and I want to watch what I want to watch. ViacomCBS. This is interesting. Has recently... Oh, Johnny's here. ViacomCBS. Oh, this is interesting, Ed. Oh, is it? I can't do an angry man. Indeed, ViacomCBS has, ViacomCBS, they've been in the news. Really? My Ed McMahon's gotten worse. Indeed, because I practice these at home by myself, and I am at home by myself. Indeed, ViacomCBS... Well, the cat's over there. Her birthday is Monday. Happy birthday, Noah. She did move when I said that, but she was licking hers off. Indeed, ViacomCBS has recently been mentioned as a potential suitor of smaller takeover targets in the entertainment space, such as AMC Networks, whose premium content hits like The Walking Dead are seen as appealing to anyone with an appetite for deeper streaming library. You'll also notice that AMC has AMC Plus, and that has been pretty fruitful for AMC as well, for AMC Networks. There's a difference between AMC Networks and AMC Theaters. And when I Google things for news time, sometimes it... when I Bing things for news time, sometimes the first thing, like if I'm Googling, searching for AMC theaters stuff, and it's always AMC Networks that pops up. I keep getting casting notices for a show. They keep asking for extras, and I haven't done extra work in quite some time. Others see ViacomCBS as an attractive takeover target. I don't know if, and K Hall wrote, how Amazon is buying MGM, and then Apple looked at Hello Sunshine before it sold the company to former Disney executives. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. Let's put this on pause. We'll be right back with the Constitutionals. Here we go. And we're back. Let's get back to this. So, where were we? So the chances of somebody buying up ViacomCBS, that has been discussed before, and we don't know if it's true or not. But Discovery struck a deal for Warner Media, and they will be paying a percentage of those returns back to AT&T at some point. I think over the next 3 years. I think that's how long that is. But Discovery now technically owns Warner Media. So who could buy Viacom-CBS? It was supposed to. Comcast was the biggest thing, but or NBC Universal, Comcast, whatever. But I don't think that's going to work. And quite frankly, I think Viacom-CBS is small enough to keep maneuvering itself. But they have had Viacom, before even getting back together with CBS, has had the biggest problem with cable packaging, because they drive up the price of cable. I mean, cable's already expensive in its own right, but they drive up the price because they want a bigger cut for people to have access to Comedy Central, BET, MTV, and the rest of those networks. But that you saw that happen with both YouTube TV and Hulu with live TV. They used to be $50, and then the Viacom joins the ranks, and now they're $65 each, which is a terrible, terrible thing. So let's finish this off. Nope, there's 2 more stories. Let's get into the next story. This also comes from Hollywood Reporter, written by J. Claire Chan. Disney CEO says talent deals undergoing reset after Scarlett Johansson lawsuit. This comes from Bob Chapek's old bald head. And listen, Chapek, I'm going to be making fun of you. I never made fun of Iger, but I'm going to make fun of you, because this is a big screw up. And I'm going to blame you for it. Because I don't side with my enemies. My enemies are Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans. And now Tom Holland. You never ever noticed Tom Holland's never starred opposite of a person of color in a movie before, except for Spider-Man. So so Scarlett Johansson obviously suing Disney because of the limited release of, or the broken release of Black Widow on Disney Plus Premiere and in theaters, and the limited amount of money, is what I meant to say, that she received as a result of this being in the middle of the pandemic. Okay, that's the title of the episode. Pandamic. Middle of the pandemic. Okay. And Chapek essentially came out and said, we don't support this. But now I think that these legal proceedings have really thrown a wrench in the gears. And I think they're gonna come to some type of settlement over the next month or so. I don't think anytime soon, but over the next month or so, in regards to Scarlett Johansson. I think she's requesting $50 million or $100 million. I think it might be $50 million. And I think they will come to a handsome payment for her, or a beautiful payment. She's a woman. So now, Chapek says this reset and the future agreements will need to take into account the changes to movie release windows accelerated by the pandemic, which means that there's going to be something written inside of the margins of the future and maybe even current or most recent contracts saying if this releases on Disney Plus, you will take a hit. or they'll say if it releases on streaming, you will take a hit. They'll say take a hit. There's a song called "Take a Shot" for me, and I don't know who sings it. Take a shot. Oh, it's Drake. It's Drake. I hope I don't get a content strike just for mentioning it on YouTube. That's how weak that system is. Chapek did not explicitly mention Johansson or her lawsuit, but referred to deals cut 3 or 4 years ago, like I said, recent, on films that made during that time that got launched during the middle of the pandemic. Yeah. He's just trying to get out of paying extra money to people who have the same ideas. Last month, Disney secured deals with Emma Stone for Cruella 2, Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt for Jungle Cruise 2. Wow. I mean, those are the latest the talent agreements that they've had, and so I guarantee inside of those contracts, why is there a Cruella 2? I understand Jungle Cruise 2. I haven't seen the movie, but it's an adventure movie, and I can only assume that it, just like Jumanji, another rock joint, and even wait, I was thinking Jumanji. I said Jumanji, and I was thinking also Jumanji. But movies like that, they need sequels. But why does Cruella get another sequel? Why does Maleficent have 2 movies? What is the second Maleficent, The Evil World, or something like that? I don't know what that second movie is. Why did Johnny Depp? I was going to say, why does Pirates of the Caribbean have 5 movies? But Johnny Depp, I was at the gym running this morning, and I looked up, and as I was watching I have Peloton on my phone, so I was watching Peloton on my phone because I hate watching TV in the gym. But I looked up, and I saw after the Today Show went to commercial, Johnny Depp was rocking on a guitar, and he's in a commercial for I think Dior cologne, and I just thought, why are we giving this man time and space? And for that matter, why are we giving Amber Heard time and space? Get them both out of here. Both trash people. Anyone who's been in a superhero movie, get out of here. I don't like anyone who's been in a superhero movie. Except for Dwayne Johnson, he's cool. He probably voted Republican, though. This next one, the final one, comes from Variety, written by Manori Ravindran. No formal accountability for racism in UK film and television industry, landmark study finds. So this goes along with the study from the studies from the last episode of the Constitutionals that I did in regards to race and sex and to some extent, I don't know if I mentioned disability, but to some extent disability in front of and behind the camera, especially over the past couple of years. And we've learned that there's been marginal increases, but not by much. Then you have Frances McDormand, get up on the Oscar stage and say inclusion writer, and then have every friggin' actor in the industry stand up and clap, and then nothing happened for the past 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So it turns out the UK is also not doing very well when it comes to this stuff, and who I could have told you that at the BAFTAs a couple years ago when there were no people of color, and they stood up and said that we are ashamed of ourselves. We are ashamed of ourselves. What kind of accent was that? I'm British and we all ashamed of ourselves. It doesn't work. I'm usually good at British accents. Ask everybody I know. It doesn't turn into this at the end of the day. 2 landmark studies have found that the sector is falling dangerously short of monitoring and evaluating its own initiatives and is losing an older generation of Black, Asian, and minority ethnic, which they call BAME, B-A-M-E, workers by focusing too intently on fresh talent. Oh, so it's even the older crowd. Wow. So this was commissioned by the London headquartered film and TV charity. The studies examined, respectively, racial diversity initiatives and anti-racism in the UK industry. They suggest that creative diversity agendas have shied away from heavy-hitting interrogations of racism within the sector, and worse still, that there is no formal accountability on racism in the industry. So this is just talking about straight up race, like the things that plague that side, especially in the UK. Like we think we have it not too good. In the UK, have you ever seen like Masterpiece Theater on PBS or truly anything that comes out of the UK. If it doesn't have Idris Elba in it, then it's going to be. That's why all those people come over to Hollywood and do Hollywood things. A, it's more lucrative, but B, there's just no roles for them. And by them, I mean the darkies. Please cut that out and post it. Give me any type of traction. So this is from one of the. I'm trying to find the name of the person, Professor Sarita Malik. They examined film and television diversity initiatives over the past 20 years. This professor, along with Dr. Clive Wonka. Their analysis reveals a, quote, knowledge deficit within the sector resulting from a failure among the institutions responsible for diversity funding and training to be transparent about their impact. This has contributed to a stagnation in the diversity initiatives over the last 20 years, as there's a dearth of reliable data on how effective these programs have been historically. There's a lost generation of older people. Talking about Black and Asian communities. I mean, it's again, this goes along with the things from before. The studies from before from the Color of Change and Annenberg Inclusion Initiative. It's in order to like these studies prove that there's tokenism and toxic nature in both of these in the entertainment industry as a whole, and in order for us to move forward, it's going to be imperative that we start casting women, people of color, and people who are differently abled in similar roles to that of the white men and women who get those roles all the time. But anything that's bereft of race, like anything short of a character going, get your white butt over here, then they could be cast in it. I mean, truly, it's insane. It's yeah. And there have been think pieces on this. People talking about this stuff all the time, but then it's kind of casted aside when. I'm just harkening back to Disney. And look, Chapek, hire me, baby. I'll take any contract you put in front of me. But this is true. But this is, when a Disney movie comes out, or when there's who else is bad at this? When there's like even a commercial where there has to be a family, and the families, or like there has to be a couple. Let's stay with it, something easy, something simple, and the couple looks the same. It's a brunette haired man and a brunette haired woman. I mean, the easiest things to do, again, anything short of get your white butt over here, just cast people. Who cares? Like, if it's a commercial where there's a couple already, just standing there, and they're talking about, we should redo the carpet in the house, and here's the best carpet cleaner for the carpet. They, put a person in a wheelchair with standing next to another person. I mean, sitting next to God. You get my drift, though. It's just you can only go so far whenever you're just. I mean, CBS is did a great job this year casting Big Brother, and now we're about to have a Black Big Brother winner, and even with Survivor, the cast this season is very diverse. But then we have shows like, and I understand that the idea, the theme of the show is that white people go to an island on vacation and they have to look back at themselves. But The White Lotus, it's a show about white people starring white people. And even a show I enjoy and I'm watching again, and I'm enjoying it the second time through, Succession. It's a show about a white family, and there's no people of color except for there's one character, and I think he played. No, I'm wrong. I was about to say something. I thought he played Barack Obama in a movie, but I don't think he did. I'm the racist, and. And it's seeing this, there needs to be more casting, and just better casting, and I can't That's why I can't watch a lot of stuff anymore, because it's just not worth it. And the UK is a very big problem with this. Even if I think Greta Gerwig and Olivia Wilde think, even if I know that they don't cast people of color. Imagine that for every single filmmaker over there in the UK and television maker in the UK. Yeah, I said it. But again, I'll work with you if you hire me. All right, listen, I'm tired. Let's stop doing this. Thank you for listening to the show. If you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk with your favorite comedians. Next week, I will reveal who the person is that I spoke to. Then, if you want to see a video version of the show, head on over to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see me sitting and answering a phone call and getting flabbergasted, thrown off of my game because I keep getting texts. You can also on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, you can see my knee hurts. You can see I just shrank like 10 feet. You can see a video version. You can see News Time, which is our premiere news show. This week's episode, technically, I have not done yet, and I don't know the story. I think I have the story, but last week's episode is about you know what? I don't know. I don't know what last week's episode's about. That is interesting. But thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I gotta go. Goodbye.